People love this library.
We love Story Hour.
I come here every week to borrow books that I enjoy reading and find the latest teen magazines. I also come here to do research for school projects.
I learn more about this area's history.
I'm using the library's archives to do research for a children's book I'm writing.
Hi, Mr. Moffat. I brought you that book you wanted.
I can still get books thanks to the book delivery service.
Preschoolers, students of all ages, young adults, and seniors find their way to Stewart Library in Grinnell from morning until night, in summer, in winter, and every season. This library is loved, practically loved to death.
Hi, I'm Paul Polson.
And I'm Julie Gosling. We'd like to remind you about why this library is so important.
And to love it enough to make it even better.
Here in Grinnell, we have a long history of social responsibility, creative thinking, and supporting free, open exchanges of ideas. Two remarkable men, J.B. Grinnell and Joel Stewart, had much to do with that tradition. It was Grinnell who encouraged Iowa College to move from Davenport to Grinnell. That college, renamed for him in 1909, gives Grinnell national attention for having a college consistently ranked among the top 15 private liberal arts colleges in the country by U.S. News and World Report, and as the very best in 2004 by Newsweek magazine. Although Grinnellians had opened a reading room in 1896, it was Stewart who convinced the First Congregational Church Society to provide a building site on Broad Street for a public library. He then personally donated toward the project and helped design and supervise construction. When the library was dedicated in 1902, it was the most beautiful library in the country. The speaker that day rightfully spoke about how it makes us better as individuals and as a community. But a century is a long time in the life of a library, even for one that was as forward-thinking as Grinnell's Stewart Library. Just as it helped turn our city into much more than a typical American town, we must now think ahead, dream ahead, and plan about a library for the century we're in, the 21st century.
When this library opened, the community was proud to have its collection of 3,100 books. Today, there are over 56,000 items, 18 times as many as when Joel Stewart helped establish this free public library.
Thinking about what Mr. Stewart might think if he came into our library today, I am sure he would be proud that the library is such a revered place in our community. But like the rest of us, he would have no idea what we do have because of the way the books must be stacked in such a crowded building. Can you imagine? We have just 17 seats in the whole library for the public to sit down. That would be particularly hard on such an older gentleman like Mr. Stewart. What do these crowded conditions mean for our community?
This delivery service means so much to all who cannot get to the library. Even those who are more mobile cannot park near the building, get around comfortably inside it, or find a place to sit.
We like to go to the library as a family, but there just isn't room for all of us at Story Hour, let alone our stroller and baby seat and diaper bag.
I'd like to have a section of my own for people my age, with books that I want to read. And when I need to study, I'd like to spread out, but I can't even find a place to sit down.
I found lots of information I needed in the local history collection, but there is such limited space. I've even contributed materials to the collection myself, but I know there is not room to store all the things the library would like to add.
There are wonderful resources here, but I wish there was room to spread out to use them. I worry too because I know the library does not have the right conditions for preserving these valuable materials.
Aisles are narrow and crowded. There's no room to add books or even places to sit and read. Our library at 10,000 square feet is smaller than others in cities our size. The libraries in Coralville and Indianola have 29,000 square feet, and Pella has 27,000 square feet. Even Waverly and Webster City, both smaller than Grinnell, have between 23,000 to 24,000 square foot libraries.
So what do we do to make our library even better? A research committee compared costs of remodeling with new construction and found them about the same, because we'd have to bring the whole building up to current code.
And even if we did remodel, we'd still have some of the same problems, including access for seniors, people with special needs, and lack of off-street parking.
Plans are ready for a new 26,000 square foot library at an estimated cost of $7.3 million to be built at Park Street and Fifth Avenue, still centrally located. Meanwhile, the city is committed to maintaining the Stewart Building as an historic landmark with public use once the new library opens. What will this new library provide? Room for children and parents, room for community programs, room for adults, room for popular materials, room for local history archives and display, room for public service and reference collections, room for computers and technology, work areas for staff and volunteers, conveniences like a drive-up book drop, fully accessible restrooms, and 100 adjacent off-street parking spots.
More fun. A place to hang out and to learn.
A way to stay in touch.
A link between the community's past and future.
For a community like Grinnell that has so long been committed to education, this is something we need to do. We must love this library enough to make it even better.
But we need your help. Please support this project with your donation, not just for us today, but as the 1902 dedication speaker noted so long ago, for future generations.
For more information or to make a donation, please designate for the Library Building Fund and send to the Greater Powesheik Community Foundation, Post Office Box 344, Grinnell, Iowa 50112, or drop off your donation at the library. Thank you.